Test a mic.
Well, I think we're recording now.
Okay, cool.
So, welcome to Tales from the Crypto episode. This is episode 6. We've been off for a couple weeks.
Taking a hiatus.
Yeah. I ended up, I was doing a commercial.
You got it.
Yeah.
Jed's a movie star.
Again.
Wow.
I also, I signed an NDA, so I'm not going to say what it is.
Oh, you said too much. Your deal's probably
No,
in the
you
garbage
can
can
say
right now.
you can say you're doing a commercial. You just can't say anything about like what it is.
I thought you couldn't disclose. I feel like you just disclosed something.
I could just say I'm doing a commercial. Like,
Oh, okay.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I could be doing a commercial for anything. I'm just saying, like, I'm not allowed to say, like, oh, I'm doing a commercial for this company, and this is what the commercial is before it airs or anything like
And
that.
you can't say like this particular actor is involved in this commercial. Or...
Well, no, there's no actors.
Oh.
Well, I mean, there are actors, but it's not like you would recognize someone's name.
Nice.
But I also, I was going to, because of that, I was like, I'm going to look at my IMDb page and see if I need to update, like, photos or anything like that, and then
Get some headshots.
get some new headshots up there. And then I was like, I saw a credit for some movie. You watch Breaking Bad?
Mm-hmm.
The guy Mike,
Mm-hmm.
the like kind of
The old guy, the
the
hitman. Sort
yeah,
of
the
too,
hitman guy.
who's- Yeah.
I saw I was in in a movie with that guy.
You were in a movie with what's that guy's name? I forget his name, but yeah, he's a good actor.
He's really good.
Yeah, he's been in the game for a while. He's like an old school.
He's
actor,
old
right?
school, and he's in that. He's in Better Call Saul. His name's like Ehrmantraut or whatever.
Paul Ehrmantraut.
Mike
Ehrmantraut.
I think so. We've talked about Ehrmantraut before too. But I saw I was in a thing with him, and then I was like, "What the fuck is this?" I don't even remember. Come on, Fonz. Fonz is barking, of course. I didn't even remember. I was like, I don't even know what this is, and it said like visitor number 2. That's who I was.
Oh, nice.
And
Number 2.
yeah, number 2, Fonz. And then I remembered that it was this like prison movie shot up in Lancaster,
Okay.
and I was like basically an extra in it.
You were like a prison visitor.
Yeah,
You were
prison
visiting.
visitor. He was in prison. I think his son's coming to visit him or whatever. But it was like, I mean, and this is not, what you should do as an actor or even as an extra or whatever the fuck you are in this thing. But it was so boring that I just left.
Oh no.
But they gave me a credit for it.
Did you get a paycheck?
Yeah, it was like $60.
And you just left?
Well, I told the guy, I was just like, dude, I gotta go.
Oh,
I
yeah.
can't hang out here.
That
It was in
happens.
Lancaster. It was like all dirty. It was in an actual prison up there.
Oh wow.
And it was just like, it was so fucking, I was like, what? I had no cell phone service.
They
It
were
just-
filming in a prison.
yeah, like an old abandoned prison,
Not an active prison.
not an active one,
Oh,
but it was
okay.
just brutal, It was just like, I had forgotten. I was like doing it as a favor for somebody, and then I forgot how fucking awful it was. And I saw that, and then on top of that, this is how long I hadn't been to my IMDb page. On top of that, was a movie called Aliens: Zone of Silence.
Sounds space sci-fi. It's like a sci-fi thriller.
It's one of those.
Is it in the Alien franchise?
No,
Not a spin-off. Is it sort of a prequel meme?
no. Talking to the mic more here. Get close up on it.
So you starred with Sigourney Weaver.
No,
in the
no,
Alien
no.
franchise.
No. A guy named Peter that I became friends with. Actually, it's like a found footage, Blair Witch kind of
Oh, okay. About alien abduction.
about alien abduction.
Blair Witch meets alien abduction.
Yeah. So,
Interesting.
so that's coming out.
Oh, it's coming out.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is a plug for your the lead. Oh, interesting.
I don't
Wow.
know when it's coming out or anything.
That'll be cool.
I just saw. I just was laughing because it's like I just fucking completely had forgotten about both of those things because
And now your IMDb is like
yeah, it's
full
blowing up.
full of all
Yeah.
these credits.
Before we started here, you were going to explain to me how 4chan works.
Yeah, it's a message board. Everyone says 4chan and people, they sit up in their seats.
Well,
and they
I know
go,
that.
"Ugh." That's all it is. It's a messaging board. So there's different messaging boards based on what your interests are. There's one, there's one on sports.
Yeah,
there's
no, I
one
know
on-
that.
So there's one on like business and finance and investing called
Right.
Biz, and it's like where people post
Well, isn't it like /b/ or whatever? That's like where every like meme kind of generates from.
Right.
That's like where all the memes start from.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So, but you were saying they were making money in crypto world.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're just posting about what they're buying, and people are lurking and buying that thing, and they've made some pretty decent calls. They called Walton Coin, I guess.
Walton Coin, though. Where do you? This is interesting to me. Like Walton Coin, and then like for instance, gas.
Yeah.
Neither one of those are on Bittrex.
No.
BNB.
Binance Coin.
Yeah, but as an American, I'm not allowed to purchase anything on Binance right now, right?
Yeah, you are.
I am.
I did.
Okay.
I am.
Okay. So then I was wrong about that.
I mean, I hope not. I mean, nothing stopped me.
No, I know. I'm just saying. I thought there was a whole thing about like Americans, not U.S. Them, they're Chinese. Binance is Chinese, correct?
Yeah.
So let's explain then. I mean, I know that 4chan's a message board. Like, is that what you're going to tell me?
Pretty much, yeah. It's just people, signing in and anonymously posting.
I said, wait till we turn the podcast on so that you can explain to me what 4chan is. And then I waited, and then I turned it on, and you said it was a message board.
Pretty much.
I knew it was a fucking message board.
Well, then what's wrong with that?
Well, you gave me this like lead up that like 4chan was going to be some like overarching, maybe like deep web.
Well, it's like an
octopus
anonymous message board. It's like if you go on Reddit or one of those other message board type websites, you have to have your accounts, and it has your history and what you look at, and they're analyzing all your data, probably selling it to Google. But like 4chan, it seems like it's all anonymous. It's just like,
well, it's interesting. I mean, they're
random.
like this fucking horrible thing in Las Vegas. They're like the first place where like it's like the guy's name, his address, the name of the woman that's like the Filipino woman that she's like accomplished, not accomplished, but
a person of interest.
Person of interest, and he had stolen her identity. Apparently, these are the things that that's in the mainstream media or whatever.
Right.
But if you go on 4chan, like they have all of this guy's information, just like date of birth.
Yeah, because it's full of nerdy hacker people, that have nothing better to do but try and get to the bottom of some like quote unquote mystery, and so they're just on their computers searching and spying. And
what do you think happened in Las Vegas?
I don't really want to talk about it.
No,
nah. Why not? Let's keep it crypto. I don't think it is. Yeah,
I'm just interested. I can guess what your thoughts are on it.
We could talk about that after the podcast.
All right. Well, I don't know.
There's so much going on with the crypto.
Okay.
world.
Well,
I think it's a horrible.
Let me get
the worst thing that's happened in American history. And it's like
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a huge act of violence.
Right.
People are terrified.
Well, I know we have, you have your opinions on it and I have mine, but as far as the actual loss of life of people, it's horrible, I think, obviously. So,
yeah, there should be moments of prayer, like nonstop, and I feel like it's getting kind of swept under the rug with Tom Petty's. Is Tom Petty dead? Does anyone know?
Yes, Tom Petty's dead, yes.
All right.
So, you're one of those people. I saw that.
You heard it here first, or third, or 12th.
I saw this. I mean, that was shocking to me too, because I love Tom Petty.
What do you mean one of those people? I logged in the internet. They're like, Tom Petty's dead. I log in at 30 minutes later. They're like, Tom Petty's alive. He's doing well. And then I'm walking on the street this morning, and some homeless man accosts me, and it's like, Tom Petty's dead. And I'm like, I heard the other way. And they're like, no, he's dead. Read the news. Like it was all in my face.
Well,
it's like I try. They tell me one thing.
It's
tell
funny.
Me the other.
Yeah, that's interesting that the homeless person was the only
source of reliable.
Yeah, the reliable source.
And I didn't believe him. I was like, nah, I don't know. I heard he was alive.
No, unfortunately, I hate to say it because I love Tom Petty.
Yeah, he's a great American.
And I've met his daughter a few times, and she lives here in LA, and she goes to where we work sometimes. So it's sad. Just yesterday was a very sad day. But anyways, yeah, we're getting way off topic here because I wanted to get your weird theories on false flag and things like that. But you're not going to give them to me.
Look, I'll give you some false flag crypto I want to do a segment called Coinspiracy.
Coins. Oh, I love it.
We'll work on that.
Right up your alley. So let's just start off. I'm going to start off then and do what we normally do. And first off, I just want to say Neo is back.
Neo's back. Gas is back. Neo and Gas are back.
So I sold some of my Neo this time. This is the first time ever because, and I'll tell you why. Mm-hmm. Because at one point Neo was like down to like fucking 16 US dollars.
Yeah. That's when I bought some.
Yeah, that was a good time to buy some, and I was fine with buying some then too. Of course, I mean that was the that's what you should be doing, especially when at one point it was at a high of like 60. It went to like 60,
61,
so 61.
Yeah.
So if it went there at one point, my belief is that it will go back there again.
Given enough time.
I don't know when.
It could double that.
It could. The hopes is that it goes to Ethereum levels here.
I think, from my understanding, from my grasp of what people are talking about, they're trying to get away from that idea of Neo being the younger brother of Ethereum.
I only meant it in price.
Yeah.
I didn't mean it necessarily in technology or similarities between the two coins.
Though, yeah.
I know there are. I just meant as far as it'd be nice to see it in the $300 range here.
Oh, wouldn't it? Wouldn't it be nice?
Just for personal reasons.
I would rather see gas in the $150.
Okay, now where do you buy
range.
Gas at? Binance?
Binance.
Right.
That's why I got a Binance account because.
Have you purchased gas on there?
No, I'm making gas. Mm-hmm. I'm a gas factory in my wallet, which I switched over the new Neon wallet. It was so easy.
Yeah, you just download the new one. I need to do that actually.
It's so easy. It's super easy.
Since I haven't done that yet, I wonder if I'm still... The gas is probably being generated.
Yes.
It just will be updated when I go to the new Neon wallet.
Exactly.
Yeah. So why do you think Neo's back? Because what happened was there was all this fucking shit with China saying that they were going to get rid of... Exchanges, get rid of cryptocurrency, get rid of Bitcoin, get rid of ICOs... and the Neo stock plummeted.
Yeah, because it was associated with the first official blockchain of China. It was, it was like China's little, Bitcoin baby.
Yeah.
And they, imposing all these regulations. But now I think it's going up now because there's a lot of posts on Twitter about how they figured it out, how to regulate the exchanges.
What did they figure out?
I mean, they haven't really, there's no news articles on what they've figured out, but there's posts of insiders, which could be true, could be false. It's the internet, you figure out for yourself. But there's insiders that are saying they've sorted out the details of the regulations and everything's on the up and up, and sometime in October all the exchanges will be functioning as,
all the Chinese ones.
Yeah, all the Chinese ones, yeah.
Gotcha. Well, that makes sense. I just, it's just weird because it was it went the world's over, everything sucks, everything, and now it's kind of just slowly, climbing back.
Yeah.
And then, you start hearing that Da Hongfei is meeting with officials and, every little bit of information kind of feels like it's being added together and compounded, and that's what's causing the rise in Neo.
Right.
Which I'm trying to look at fucking Bittrex right now, and it's being fucking lame, and it will only give me the lows and the highs, but it won't give me any lasts or bids or asking price on Neo, so I can't really tell what the fuck it is at the exact moment.
I'm guessing around 33. My Blockfolio system.
I mean, on my Blockfolio, it's 33.
Yeah,
33 right now, which is fine because I think I sold some at 33 because I just felt I got in again at 16,
doubled your money.
Yeah, and when I got back up to 33, I was like, I'm gonna finally sell some at some point because up until this point, I've only been holding, and it's great to obviously it's worked out to hold, but when you had something that was worth 60 and then it went down to 16,
you're like, shoot, I should have.
At some point it would have been nice to sell at 60 and then get back in at 16
with that same money. Yeah, exactly.
With that same money that you had made. So so for me, I'm just cool, if it goes to 33, fuck it, or whatever, I'm gonna sell. I'm gonna get, if it goes back down again, I'll get back in, I'll get some more, but for now I was just And if it goes up, I still have all my hodl too, so I'm not worried about that.
It's kind of a sideways market right now. I think that's
It's
what
just
everyone's
weird,
saying.
yeah. So I figured, it's nice to maybe move around a little bit in this time, instead of like, if something starts to skyrocket, then obviously hold. If something is dipping, then buy.
Well, maybe hold. I had this trade with this thing called Einsteinium. I've kind of been doing.
Yeah,
like,
you
day
fucked me on
trades.
Einsteinium, by the way.
Fucked you. I didn't fuck you. I said look into it.
No, I was like, I got all super jacked on Einsteinium, and you said it was a shit coin.
Well, there's a lot of shit coins. It might be a shit coin still. I don't know, but it's doing numbers. They're all shit coins at this point.
Right.
But I was looking into Einsteinium. It was 6 cents. I bought it. It went up gradually and then just jumped up to like 14, 15 cents. And then I sold half of what I had.
What's that noise?
I don't know. Should we pause the podcast?
Is it outside?
I think so. It's a little water heater.
Oh, I think it's just like the
sprinkler system.
I don't know what the fuck that is.
But yeah, the idea is like put $100 into something. When it goes to 2, sell half of what you have.
Right.
So then you make $100. You could put that extra $100 into anything, and then you still have your original investment. That's kind of your free rolling.
Right.
That's what everyone's trying to do in this game, I think. Or they're trying to get quote unquote 10x. They're always talking about 10x on 4chan.
Oh,
10 times your money.
Oh, 10x. Not the
or
coin.
10x pay. Yeah, 10x.
Are you talking about the coin or getting 10 times your money?
5x, 10x. No, they're talking about like 10 times your money.
All right. Well, see, so what I did, though, I basically got out of, not got out of, but I sold a tiny amount of Neo, basically $100 worth.
Right.
And then just used all that money to buy Patient Tory. And Patient Tory is not doing anything right now either.
It's all sideways.
It's all sideways. But I do like the idea of what Patient Tory is.
Yeah, you're buying into the tech. I like the
tech. I like the people.
There's a future there.
It's U.S. based, and just the idea that, especially given what's going on politically and in our climate and the world, as far as healthcare and things like that, it is an interesting project to me. Just in the little that I do know about it or even understand about it, but just the fact that. I feel like medical records, and we've talked about this before, just like being able to be your own, the way that you can be your own bank with Bitcoin, the way that you can be your own like doctor's office with your medical records or something. Like you have the private key for that,
Yeah, you have. Yeah, it makes sense.
So I found that one interesting, and we'll see what happens.
Think so. It's got good. The signals are still looking good. The trade signals for Patient Tory are looking good. I mean, everything's dipping right now for whatever reason, which is something I want to talk about. I think there's this fork thing coming up.
Yes.
There's an Ethereum fork and a Bitcoin fork. Ethereum and a Bitcoin fork.
Right.
And
we just had a Bitcoin fork. Wasn't the Bitcoin Cash thing the fork? There
was a huge fork in August. Yeah. End of August. And now they want another one in the middle of November, I think, is when they're planning it.
Is there going to be another coin created then?
There is going to be another coin created.
Is this coin has there been any news then, as far as like, if you are holding Bitcoin on an exchange, will you automatically get, this new coin?
This new coin that's going to be forked.
Has there been anything about that?
There's not too much news on that.
Because on Bittrex the last time when there was a fork, for every Bitcoin, you got 1 Bitcoin Cash.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if they're going to do something similar like that again, because
I bet they will.
And all the people that had their Bitcoin held on Coinbase at the time, they were supposed to get an equivalent Bitcoin Cash, which has yet to happen.
I think it happens in January.
Maybe it happened. I heard it was November, but
oh really?
But maybe it's been delayed
in the near future.
But I wonder why does that take a certain amount of time, and where does this Bitcoin Cash come from that they're giving you? Like, do they just have a stockpile of it that they're going to distribute? Do they have enough to cover the?
I mean, the way someone explained forking to me once, it's kind of like you copy all the code and you paste it. It's like a copy and paste kind of thing. So there's this. There's like forums where they post all the code for Bitcoin, and you just you copy and paste it into your system, and all the people, all the miners agree on it, and they start using this new code.
Sure.
So it's really confusing ultimately. But yeah, there's apparently going to be a new coin. They're going to be working on some new system. It has to do with the processing of payments and the fees.
Well, I think what we should do I think what there was all these ideas last time is what to do, and I don't think I understood it enough. And I think we thought like Bitcoin Cash was going to be like bogus and worthless and yada yada, and it's
still in the questionable phase.
We don't know, but it's still like, I mean, it's still at 10% kind of, it's in that weird 10% range of Bitcoin.
Right.
And fuck, dude, if you had like 10 Bitcoin, you got fucking another $4,000 right now, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't believe in Bitcoin Cash and you're able to just fucking dump it it's $4,000 free, basically. So what I want to know this time is if there's an exchange like Bittrex or Coinbase or whatever it is that we should be holding our Bitcoin on during this, because I don't want it to be sitting in a private wallet and then I don't generate anything from this,
from the fork.
So let's make sure to.
Yeah, we're gonna have some.
We'll send out something on Real Crypto Tales at Twitter. At Real Crypto Tales and kind of start get a discussion going like that, or maybe on Reddit when I post this on Reddit, the new episode.
Have a user poll where we say, what do you people think? Where should we keep our coins?
I got two more for you before. Did you want to talk more about this fork?
I don't really know enough about it to talk about it. I just know it's happening.
Yeah, we know it's happening.
And there's an Ethereum one coming up soon.
So Ethereum forked before as well, quite a while ago.
Yeah.
And that's why you have Ethereum Classic.
Right.
And Ethereum Classic is probably like more where Bitcoin Cash is about 10% of Bitcoin. Ethereum Classic kind of rides more in the 5%
of Ethereum
level.
Yeah.
But there's still people that are
all about it.
That are into it.
Yeah.
So the other thing is I know that OMG is working with McDonald's in Thailand.
It's official.
It's official.
Nice.
That's one.
Good for them.
I sold all my. You sold it.
I sold it. Yeah.
Where's it at right
it's
now?
At like 9. It's at everyone online saying it's at a low in Dubai, but I don't like McDonald's. I don't know.
Well, no. The idea of it being with McDonald's is really silly to me too, and doesn't excite me at all.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that something as large as McDonald's, which I feel like McDonald's is obviously like a business that would be in decline in the current, in
2017.
Yeah, people are not into fucking shitty food like that.
Yeah, it's true.
They still are in general, but like to where it was like in like say 1992,
95,
whatever. Like
it was like, hey kids,
yeah,
going to McDonald's.
Yeah, now it's like
it's the third time this week.
Yeah, now I would never even think to eat at McDonald's myself, much less if I had children take them to McDonald's for many reasons.
That's like abuse. It's child abuse at this point.
Yeah,
or it's gonna be.
Or it used to just be normal.
Yeah, where it's like they marketed it towards children, the toys and the Happy Meals and everything.
That's right.
The sugar syrup.
But it is interesting, though, to see a corporation the size of McDonald's accepting any
cryptocurrency route.
Anything.
Yeah, it is interesting. That's why I bought it at first, because I was like, holy crap, McDonald's, that's big. Even if I don't like it, that's mass adoption.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. I was kind of against Omise Go OMG because I was pretty anti Ethereum for a long time.
Right.
I wasn't a big Mayim Bialik fan, but I've sort of come around on this idea, and now I do have Ethereum to hold as well as Omise Go. So
it's an interesting thing. Ethereum. It's like there's so many the smart contract thing that it opens up.
Right.
With the world, it's like smart contracts start being used. That's the kind of the new thing. All these cryptos that are coming out. I feel like there's a new wave of coins that are trying to implement smart contracts in real world scenarios. There's one called Agrello. There's one called Blockcat. There's one called Link, Link, Chainlink, and they're trying to utilize a system so that people can use smart contracts, and the average person can use smart contracts, and there'll be less need for lawyers and people drawing up these crazy contracts.
Yeah, and I mean I think that what I'd like to see just happen in general, and I feel like it is kind of happening, is that we figure out a way as a crypto community or whatever to kind of get rid of these kind of worthless coins, these Trump coins, these Putin classics or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
or that they just kind of go by the wayside. People start to really kind of not even use them or anything.
Worry about them.
Worry about them, whatever it is.
Yeah.
They stop being developed. And then the technology of like blockchain really starts, and smart contracts really starts to be implemented and really starts to happen. And I feel like that will get rid of like worthless coins and stuff and get and kind of
it'll happen naturally.
Yeah, and things will be less confusing when people start to understand what blockchain actually does and what a smart contract actually does, and then you go like, well, why the fuck do we need all these other ICOs and all these things? And that I feel like these ICOs that are not that don't have any real tech behind them, or that's where people start coming in, like the SEC and stuff, to regulate stuff, because these people it's a scam, basically,
scam coins.
all these scam coins.
Yeah.
So I just hope that, these blockchain and things like Ethereum, which I don't think are a scam, start to become more implemented, so that we see people using it, and then we don't have to worry about as much regulations, because it will regulate itself.
I think like we're worried about scams,
Yeah.
But I feel like the SEC and all of them, they're worried about like hackability. Probably they probably don't trust Ethereum because they're like, it's been hacked a couple times.
Right.
There's always that factor. There's still, we're in early beta testing for all this.
Right, and that was another thing I wanted to ask you about too, because like I'm like looking at Bittrex, and it seems to be working fine now. But earlier I was like, I couldn't get any information, like real time information on Neo, and I wasn't able to. If I had wanted to, I wouldn't have been able to sell or buy any Neo for like, it seemed like a couple hours or something like that. Yeah. I'm sure it was just some fucking, site,
like a forced total
site update or whatever, or internet or whatever the fuck it is. But now we're talking more about like decentralized exchanges as well, as opposed to holding your stuff on an exchange.
Yeah, those are coming up now. There's a lot of those.
Are there any currently
working, functioning?
Yeah.
I was actually looking into that. I should have a little more research. I think what's it called? Bit something.
I mean, we can look into it. I know that it's coming. I just don't know if there's any that are being currently used right now.
BitShares has one.
BitShares.
Yeah, it's a token. It's a cryptocurrency that was made for a decentralized exchange. And there's supposedly some apps on your phone that you could download.
Okay.
Do a little more research.
I'll look into that for sure.
Yeah, there are some. Binance, you can do something with your phone on Binance. You have to get your API keys. I guess we could have an episode on that too, where you get your API keys, plug them into the app on your phone, and it has access to your wallet on your Binance account,
right,
or your Bittrex account, or your Poloniex account.
One more thing I wanted to ask you about. Yeah. So, given like the current situation in Puerto Rico, how does Bitcoin help or hurt these people, or
have no effect whatsoever?
Or no effect whatsoever?
I mean, I think it would help them if they bought it and used it as a currency somehow. But do they not have cell phones? Why don't they? I don't know.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. If you're living on an island, and
low Wi-Fi,
95% of the fucking electricity is down.
Yeah.
Then how are you supposed to get money exchanged? Even like your fucking fiat that's in your bank account. Even if you had a bank account, you couldn't transfer funds or have someone transfer funds to you via like Western Union or something, even like that. And at the same time, if you're in a fucking disaster, what's a dollar bill gonna do for you? A can of food is worth, a can of food keeps you alive. A dollar bill, if someone doesn't accept a dollar bill in a fucking hurricane, then it's worth nothing.
It's true. Yeah,
it's a piece of paper.
They need to invent maybe like a drone dropping system for aid. Do they have that?
Well, I mean, we have airplanes.
Yeah, but get a drone to do it. Drop some cans.
Well,
Maybe there'll be a cryptocurrency you could donate to a disaster. There's a disaster going on. You say I'm going to send 0.03 of my drone can coins, and they're going to immediately ship some cans of food.
Well,
disaster.
I understand that. I'm just saying. I know that for instance, like Venezuela and maybe some of the Middle East and some of these places, Syria, where there'll be like a government breakdown, or the situation in Cyprus
or Greece,
where there's a economic breakdown, and the currency is being devalued at a super high rate. That then Bitcoin can really step in, because the Bitcoin value should be, and tell me if I'm wrong here, Bitcoin is, at the moment says it's worth $4,300 US.
Yeah.
It should be worth $4,300 US globally, correct?
Yeah, it depends on the exchange. It varies by a little bit, but yeah.
But not that much.
Part. Yeah, not that much.
It's kind of like, it is what it is. Whereas like a fucking Japanese yen, maybe 1 yen is not worth $1
everywhere.
Yeah, where one Bitcoin is worth 1 Bitcoin everywhere.
Yeah.
So in that situation, it makes complete sense to have these ATMs. That even the one that I fucking saw in the valley, where their Bitcoin was, to buy a Bitcoin was like $6,000. Obviously, they're making a fuck ton of money profit wise on ATM fees. But you can send that Bitcoin to somebody in a country where Venezuela, where their country is suffering from devalued currency.
And you could just send it to them like that. You could
send
it
exactly
to them by a few hours.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Exactly. I just wonder if there's a way for it to help out in more like, I feel like, in disasters like Puerto Rico, Houston, Florida, at that point it's like, I feel like shotgun shells maybe is the most valuable
useful currency for protection.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, there is a coin that's supposed to be working with the NRA, Trig token. Have you heard that? It's like a little thing.
No, I haven't.
It's a cryptocurrency, and it's associated with a piece of hardware that you put on a gun that'll tell you where it's shooting, what direction it's shooting in, and it just keeps track of all that stuff for crime and
it's for
law enforcement mostly, or
okay.
So they're like, oh, someone shot this gun. They look at the blockchain where it sent the information, like, oh, they shot at this time, it went in this direction.
So this would be something that that maybe would go into. It's not going to, but let's be real. But it could go into law that gun manufacturers have to
have
put this thing in here that's basically tracking
where the bullets are going.
Yeah. I mean, well, that's like. That's like putting a fucking breathalyzer in every car in the way that, you shouldn't be able to start a car if you're drunk.
Yeah, it's true.
And they go like, oh, you've got arrested for DUI 5 times and you killed someone. So we're going to put this thing in your car that you have to breathe into like every 20 minutes to keep your car going. And it's like, well, why the fuck isn't it just in every car from the get-go?
Get their like little nephew to breathe into it or something.
Yeah, or whatever.
You get the kid walking on the street and you say, hey, breathe into this tube.
But it's that thing where it's like the technology's already there for them to fucking track guns. They don't want the extra cost because they don't want to have to charge people more money for a gun because they want to sell more guns. But now these guys that have these fucking 3D printer machines that are printing receivers, and now there's a same guy that prints the untraceable metal AR-15 receivers has now got a 1911 handgun. What is it? Software 3D printer program for that you can download, and you can print. You can mill out a fucking untraceable metal handgun.
Crazy.
And they, of course, a lot of their money is Bitcoin.
Why don't they outlaw that?
Outlaw what?
Seems like easy to outlaw 3D printing guns.
You can't outlaw it because it's just software.
Well,
I mean, you can't.
Trying to trading the software, delete it, make it hard to I don't know.
Well, no, I mean they are. I know that they're.
Seems way
I know that
scarier.
they're not happy about it. I mean, I know they're monitoring this guy. I can't remember what the guy's name is, but I've seen him on many shows where he's like he makes like. At first, he was just doing it with like plastic, but now he's got
Right.
like a
He's
machine that
got metal,
mills it. But it's.
Crazy.
I mean, it's just coding. You know, even if you outlaw it, you could still take a 3D printer and
Figure it
even if
out.
you wanted to make like I don't know a guitar, and then.
Yeah. Well, it seems like if that's just going to be the world we live in, we have to work on people's mentality. The people that are going to be firing and making these 3D printed guns, making sure they're not freaking insane. I don't know. It's crazy.
All right, go. What do you
do
got?
we do? Vice
What do you got
versa.
for me?
All right, we got some coins.
Talking to that
Got
thing.
some coins.
Is this what? Is it what? What's the name of this? What's this segment called? Strider's
Fucking
picks. Or?
Shitcoin picks. Of the
No,
week.
no,
I
no.
don't
Shills,
know.
Silverstein's,
Shills.
shills.
Oh no, we still got news. We
got
Rewind.
news?
Yeah.
Okay,
Head
what's-
of the IMF, International Monetary Fund, the IMF. You know
Mhm.
the IMF.
Yeah.
189 countries working together, formed in 1944.
Is this like the World Bank?
It's something like that. It's some like World Banker kind of crazy.
Gotcha.
Team. Yeah. The UN of banking, I guess, kind of a thing.
I have
But
a friend whose dad is like one of the higher ups in this thing, like the Minister of Finance from like Scotland or something like that.
yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's old guys. But Christine Lagarde, a managing director of the IMF, says cryptocurrency is good. She says citizens may one day prefer virtual currencies. So they're not shunning away from Bitcoin.
Right. Well, virtual in the sense of that you can't trace it, or just virtual in the sense that it's digital.
Virtual in the sense that it's not physical.
Right.
And it's like encrypted.
But that's how everything is anyways, all right. I think, this whole thing that, like, we've talked about this before, the whole thing that, like, if you go down to the bank and they actually have, like, 10,000 $1 bills, like, in your account that they're just, like, waiting to hand over to you,
Yeah.
It doesn't exist.
No, it's already virtual.
It's already virtual.
Yeah.
And we're seeing I talked to a friend this weekend. She's going over to Norway to do a commercial for some company that's launching a coin over there. That's going to be I think it's supposed to be their version of like an Ethereum.
Wait, the Norway Ethereum?
Yeah, I can't
Norway's
remember the name of
Ethereum.
I can't remember the name of it, and I can't remember exactly how she was promoting it. She's a dancer. But when I was telling her when we went to Norway with the band and we were playing, they have like these fucking card readers on the bar. So every time you order a drink, you swipe your card, like for every beer. You don't just like open a tab at the bar and put your card down.
Right.
You just literally you're like, give me one beer, and she's like, okay, and hands you the card reader. You put it in and put it out, and that's how you pay for that beer. There's no paper money being handed over.
Exchanged, yeah. It's a thing of the past. It's weird Disney dollar coupon stuff.
Yeah, I think it's just going more and more all the time.
With these faces of like old people and like all the flowery drawings and shit, it's so weird. Always.
Yeah.
I mean, we've kind of just accepted it, but it's becoming more and more weird to me because we don't even see it that often anymore. Dollars. I mean, you see them, but it's less frequent, I think.
Well, that's the whole thing is because, people say they want to pay with cash because they don't trust, their identity being stolen
Or the fees.
or the fees or even, I mean, sorry. If you wanted to do something nefarious, cash would be the way to go because there's just no way to track it, So it's interesting because, for instance, everyone's concerned about like Bitcoin. They're like, oh, Bitcoin's used for terrorism because there's no way
money
to
laundering.
track it or
Yeah.
whatever. And it's like, what the fuck do you think cash is?
They've been doing that for
what do you think?
centuries.
They're like, they're using Bitcoin to
Perfected.
fund ISIS. It's like,
Yeah.
no, they're using thousands of dollar bills to fund ISIS. Like that's untraceable.
That's what's really happening.
Yeah, that's what's literally untraceable is fucking dollar bills. So
Yeah.
it's interesting. All right, what else you got?
We got the Wall Street Journal writing an article on Goldman's. This is nothing news, but yeah, Wall Street Journal says Goldman Sachs is debating whether or not having a crypto assets trading platform. They're debating it. They
Okay.
may or may not proceed, said the article in the Wall Street Journal.
Fascinating. What was the guy that came out and he was like, Bitcoin sucks and my daughter's a fucking retard too. That's what
Jamie Dimon
is that what the guy's name is?
from Chase Bank.
I thought it was J.P. Morgan.
J.P. Morgan, yeah.
Yeah, or J.P. Morgan Chase. That's the same thing. Yeah,
Same thing.
yeah. His interview was like
His daughter. What happened to his daughter?
he said something like, "Here, put this thing down, like,
Alright, sorry,
fucking
sorry.
like angle it towards
Yeah.
your fucking seat." So
Okay,
now we got a whole
good.
podcast
Sorry.
where we can't hear you.
It's a secret. It's
Now
all
I can
that.
hear you. I've been telling you this.
I want people to turn up the volume because I want to have secrets.
If they turn up the volume, it's gonna just make me that much louder.
Yeah, I know. I want people to get blasted in the ear by you and then be like, "What's this guy saying? What should we buy?"
This guy from J.P. Morgan Chase basically said that he thought Bitcoin was a scam, and that he's like, and then my daughter wanted to buy some, and I was like, "You're a fucking idiot."
He called his daughter an idiot.
Something like that. Yeah.
That is not very mature.
No. Well, I don't. Whatever. I just thought it was funny.
I heard he would fire anyone that he's found trading crypto. He's very anti.
But doesn't he hold a bunch of Bitcoin too? This guy?
Probably.
That's what someone
they're
else was saying.
probably all just saying shit so the price will go down and they could buy more.
Well, that's what a lot of people say
You know?
when these things come out like that. They're like, oh, it's gotten to this point where it's $4,000 a Bitcoin. We should have gotten in when it was, $100 a Bitcoin, and let's fucking tank it so that we can buy more. I mean, that was a theory on like all the like the China regulation too. Was that China wanted to like manipulate the price, and it did drop by like 25%.
It dropped. The price was manipulated.
Yeah,
Maybe on purpose, maybe just part of the normal function of things. But
we'll never know.
so yeah, that's the news. We got some coins.
All right,
Coin
hit me with
facts. I don't know. This is what people are talking about. People are talking about Vertcoin. People are talking about Vertcoin.
What's Vertcoin?
It's just a crypto coin. Look at you. It's one of many crypto
I know,
coins.
but
But
what does it
apparently,
do?
what's special about it is that its backbone is based in.
I'm looking at
decentral-
Pivx right now. Is that what's
decentralization.
Pivx? Is that Jeremy Piven's new?
Jeremy Piven's
New coin?
entourage coin.
No, what's
I don't know.
Vertcoin do?
It's just its backbone is based in decentralization.
Mm-hmm.
So it promotes decentralization
Okay.
basically. So everyone's kind of involved. If you buy into it, you're part of the community,
Right.
kind of a thing. Sounded
Gotcha.
interesting. Another thing they're talking about is Chainlink. It's for smart contract adoption. It's on Binance, trading for about 40 cents right now. People are saying it's going to go up.
What's it
Actually,
called? What's it called?
Link, Link.
LANK.
Chain
Okay,
link.
yes.
We got. I thought BitBay looked good. We'll see. We'll see.
BitBay.
It's been around
Is it
since
BAE?
BAY.
Oh, okay.
BitBay.
I thought it was maybe a Beyonce thing.
It's a goods and service payment platform. It's been around for since 2013, 2014.
Is that different than Omise Go at all?
Well, it's used to find employment and to find workers and to barter for things.
Gotcha. I feel like maybe some of these things
Similar to
could be kind of redundant too, but then
Yeah.
then it kind of comes down to like marketing
Marketing
and acceptance.
Yeah.
It's like, why do we need Visa and Mastercard
I don't know. But
and
they've been
Discover
around
Card
since day one.
and
And
Amex?
Disco-
You know,
yeah, all
and
of
basically
them.
they all do the same fucking thing, but people are like, oh well, Amex is for like rich people.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's just marketing, right?
It's crazy.
It just does the same fucking thing. It's harder to get an American Express card than it is, and that's how they sell it to you. Is that
Yeah.
oh, we're more exclusive, so it's more difficult for you to get this card, and then all it does is the same fucking thing. And then I don't even know what the fuck who gets Mastercard. The like troglodytes.
I don't know.
Do you know anyone that uses Mastercard?
I haven't used a credit. I mean, I just use whatever my credit union gives me. I have like a MasterCard logo, I think.
Okay.
And then I just swipe it and put in my PIN, that kind of thing.
Sure. I mean, I have a Visa that's issued by my bank,
Yeah.
but I never even see Mastercard. I always felt like Mastercard's like Pepsi.
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe you're
Let's
just
look it up.
biased because
maybe
I
I
got
know.
MasterCard.
Yeah. Okay. See,
It's there on the
I think you're
logo. But it doesn't make a difference. They
lower
could've
class
said
than
V.
me, I believe.
It's a credit union, so that makes sense. I'm not supporting
Maybe
these-
Mastercard's with credit unions and Visa's with banks.
Maybe.
Interesting.
We'll get down to the bottom of this.
Someone write in and tell us the answer to that.
So
So where were you at?
just talking about these coins.
No, I know. Which one was it?
BitBay,
BitBay.
Barter,
BAE.
BAY.
Okay.
Obsidian. They're obsessed with Obsidian.
Ooh, sounds black.
I don't want to talk about it because it uses the Stratus system.
I hate Stratus,
I hate
yeah.
Stratus for some reason, but maybe it's good. Who knows? They're obsessed with it. And Elixir, which sounds interesting, but it's built on the Ethereum network. But Ethereum, good and bad. I'm kind of neutral on Ethereum. It's a lending service which rewards the borrower for paying back loans on time.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it sounds nice.
That's cool because for instance, like I use a Firm. Have you ever used a Firm?
No.
Firm is like the only reason why I even know what it is, and the only times I've ever actually used it is to buy musical equipment on Reverb.com, which is a musical like a musical sales site, like almost like an eBay, but it's not, or Craigslist, but
It's for like musicians selling musicians.
yeah, musicians selling gear, and they have a lot of new stuff on there, but they have a lot of used stuff on there too, and it's really just a really well run site, and they use this company called The Firm, which is just like a credit. It's like PayPal had a credit for a while, but it's just like a credit that you can buy something via a Firm and make payments on it or whatever. But it's just very easy to use. Like you can make like, say you want to buy a guitar for $1,000, you can borrow, and you have 700. You can borrow $300 from a Firm, and then make these like monthly payments of like $30 or whatever, you know.
Oh, nice.
So and you can just do it on your phone. You know, it's super chill, and I've done it a couple times. But that's kind of. But the thing is like you wonder.
What about the people that don't pay?
No, not about the people that don't pay, because you're just gonna get like into a, what do you call it? What do they call it?
Repo, repossession?
Yeah, not repo, but they're not going to come take your guitar, but you're just going to get like collective
credit?
agencies.
Okay, yeah, collection agencies.
Collection agencies, bad credit, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
That's what you get when you don't pay it. When you pay it off early, what do you get?
Just a gold star.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Yeah.
maybe this thing's interesting. It's this elixir we're talking about.
Elixir, yeah.
And they even say sometimes like that paying off your credit cards early is a bad thing for your credit.
Huh.
You know what I'm saying? Have
That's
you heard
crazy.
this before?
I haven't heard that, but that sounds insane. It sounds like
It's like your credit rating is
Cognitive
better
dissonance.
when you have like some debt.
a ton of weird. So they want you in debt.
They want you in debt for sure.
Slowly paying off your debt.
Exactly.
Until you expire.
If you pay off all your stuff early, it's not good.
Huh.
So, it'd be interesting to see if there was something, a technology or a movement that was kind of like started to go anti that, and that you were actually rewarded for, because if you got Bitcoin, if people started to accept Bitcoin to buy a house or something versus a loan from a bank, which you need a loan generally to get like
to get near that world.
to get near
buying a
that
house,
world,
yeah.
and then when what they give you the loan is based upon your credit. If you're like, fuck you, bank, I'm not even gonna fucking deal with you. Like, you know, I don't. Who cares about my fucking credit? I got this
50
many
Bitcoins.
I got this many
gotta
Bitcoin.
Send it to this
I
guy.
fucking
Yeah.
just bailed HBO out with the Game of Thrones script because I
Yeah.
sent them like 70 Bitcoin, and I'm gonna buy this.
I'm
Fucking,
an extra in Game of Thrones next week because of it.
because of that. They got me.
They wrote me
I
in
mean,
a part.
I'm a wildling.
They're gonna kill me.
Yeah. But now I'm just gonna buy this fucking house with Bitcoin. I don't need.
What
fucking,
do you say about that, Jamie Dimon, Chase Bank, JP Morgan?
He's like, my fucking daughter's a fucking retard, and I can't stop you.
I'm an abusive parent.
This guy's got so much fucking money, he doesn't care if we buy a
That's
house
the
with Bitcoin.
problem. These people with too much money. I think I'd like to advocate on this podcast. If you become a millionaire or any kind of heir from any of this advice or getting into crypto, you know, have a job still. Keep busy doing something. Don't be some asshole with like a ton of money who just sits around and I don't know. Is that kind of idealistic and boring to say? But I just think there's something to be said for like, don't be obsessed with your wealth and all this stuff. It's nice to make money, but it's, you know, try and find good people.
Well, also this fucking JP Morgan. Do you think this guy like fucking started out from nothing and like worked his way up through the mailroom at JP? You know, he's like some fucking Ivy League fucking cocksucker who was born rich. You know,
Yeah.
so this is Bitcoin is the anti these fucking people. You know?
Exactly.
I mean, obviously, some of these people are going to come in there because they got money to buy Bitcoin and stuff. But like,
Yeah.
but you know, the idea behind it was to fucking bail out the fucking people that got fucked in the housing crisis in the
Right.
banks. You know,
Yeah.
so
Oh, I never thought of that. So Bitcoin bailed those people out.
who?
Just everybody that was.
It was a
messed up.
reaction to
It was a reaction to the
To the housing
to the
crisis.
housing crisis.
Yeah,
but it's
exactly.
like the
bubble.
American people bailed out these banks.
but we
Bitcoin-
didn't want to.
Those papers were signed.
We were forced to bail them out, though.
Sure.
No one wanted that. I mean, no one wanted a fucking new football stadium in Seattle, and yet somehow, even though we voted against it, they still used our tax money to fucking build a football stadium. You know?
Yeah, thanks democracy. That's what it should be.
Yes.
But,
So one more. I got one more for you. What
Yeah.
about Internet of the People? Internet of
I
People.
don't know about that shit, man. I don't want to think about Internet of the People. It's so weird.
I just
Their website looks like shit. they're everything about it just reeks like, why is this popular? And it's like just jumping up extreme numbers. I don't know.
It's marketing, right?
Something, yeah. I feel I kind of feel bad because I was looking at it at June in one point.
Yeah,
It was
I never even
30
heard of
cents or
it.
something.
I
I was
just-
like making fun of it.
I just looked at it the other day because of the name so ridiculous. Internet of People.
Internet of people, not of the people.
Yeah.
just Internet of people.
Internet of
Like
People.
they've just making
It's
their
like
own
Cafe de Leche.
Yeah. No, there's Cafe Leche, or yeah, it's Cafe. Whatever. It's so
Cafe
weird.
de Leche
Uh,
in Highland Park.
Internet of people.
Yeah, Internet of People.
I mean, if it was a decentralized internet protocol kind of thing, like Shift, that would be cool. But it's not. I don't know what it is.
If it was Internet of Soylent Green, I would think it was cool.
If it was Internet of dogs.
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
cool too.
Internet of. I don't know.
Anything else?
I think that covers it pretty much. You know.
Well, let's send out some fucking questions on Twitter this week, and like let's get back in the fucking game here.
Yeah, let's get in the swing. You're back from your movie star journey. I'm here, ready for the next days.
You're
of crypto.
harassing people on the street who don't collar their dogs.
I think you should put your dog on a leash if you're on the street. You know.
I agree. I mean, the only time I walk my dog without a leash is like in the park, like when there's other dogs that are like off leash, and it's
Yeah.
like wilderness, and then I let them be natural because I feel like they get along better when they're not leashed. But I'm not walking down the fucking Glendale Boulevard with a dog like just walking around.
Because even if you got the coolest dog in the world, what are you, Mr. Cool Guy? You don't have the rules don't apply to you.
What are you, some fucking oogle? Put your goddamn dog on a leash, you oogle motherfucker. You face tattooed cocksucker. All right, buddy.
Yeah, that was a good one. All right.
All right.
We'll see you next.
See you next week.
Yeah.